If money is tight today and there is a bill in front of you that makes your chest feel heavy, do not begin with panic. Before you pay, before you check the balance again, before you imagine the worst, take one quiet moment and declare this with me. God is my source, wisdom is my guide, and fear will not make my decisions. Loving Father, I place this bill, this need, and this entire financial season into your hands. Give me peace enough to think clearly, courage enough to act responsibly, and faith enough to remember that one difficult number does not define my future. There are moments when a bill is more than paper or a number on a screen. It can feel like a reminder of everything that has gone wrong. It can awaken old fear. It can make you think about another expense that is coming, a paycheck that already feels too small, a family member who needs help, or the uncertainty of not knowing how everything will be covered. And in that moment, fear tries to become the loudest voice in the room. But fear is not a financial plan. Today we are going to replace that voice with prayer, truth, and wise action. This is not about pretending the bill does not exist. It is not about declaring words and then ignoring responsibility. It is about refusing to let anxiety become the ruler of your decisions. Through a Christian spiritual lens inspired by principles often associated with Conny Méndez, we can understand that the words we repeatedly accept in our minds shape the attitude with which we act. Faith does not erase responsibility. Faith helps us meet responsibility without surrendering our peace. So before you pay any bill today, say these words slowly. God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. Again, God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. You may not feel peaceful yet. That is all right. You are not trying to manufacture an emotion. You are choosing a direction. Philippians 4:19 reminds believers that God is able to supply what is needed according to his riches. That promise is not permission to avoid planning, and it is not a guarantee that every desire will be funded exactly when we want it. It is an invitation to remember that our lives are not sustained by panic. We can pray for provision while also asking for wisdom, discipline, honest work, good decisions, and the ability to recognize opportunities. Father, I thank you because you see the full picture that I cannot see. You know what is due. You know what I earn. You know what I owe. You know the responsibilities I carry for my home and for the people I love. You also know the thoughts I have not told anyone, the calculations I repeat in my head, and the moments when I wonder if there will be enough. Today, I ask you to calm the fear that makes everything look impossible. Where I have been careless, give me humility to change. Where I have been confused, give me clarity. Where I have been discouraged, renew my strength. Where I need more income, lead me toward honest opportunities. Where I need to reduce expenses, give me discipline without shame. Where I need to ask for help, give me courage. Where I need to wait, give me patience. And where a door should close, help me not to force it open simply because I am afraid. There is an important difference between scarcity and responsibility. Scarcity says, there will never be enough, so I must panic. Responsibility says, this is what I have today. Let me use it wisely and ask God to guide my next step. When money is tight, the mind often jumps forward into a future that has not happened. One bill becomes 10 imaginary disasters. One difficult month becomes a prediction about the rest of the year. One mistake becomes a label. I am bad with money. I always fail. Nothing ever works for me. Do not build your identity out of a difficult season. Instead say, I can learn. I can adjust. I can ask for wisdom. I can take the next right step. This is where faith declarations can become practical. A declaration is not magic. It is a way of bringing your attention back to truth and responsibility. If you keep telling yourself that nothing can change, you may stop looking for solutions. If you constantly repeat that you are doomed, you may rush into decisions that make the pressure worse. But when you choose words that agree with faith and wisdom, You create space to see options that fear was hiding. So look at the bill in front of you and say, this bill is a responsibility, not a prophecy. It tells me what is due. It does not tell me what my entire future will be. Say, I will not make a permanent decision from a temporary panic. Say, I will not spend to impress people while neglecting what matters most. Say, I will not confuse desire with necessity. Say, I will not be ashamed to make a plan. Say, I will not measure my worth by what is in my bank account. And say, with God's help, I will become more peaceful, more disciplined, and more attentive with what passes through my hands. Luke 14:28 teaches the wisdom of counting the cost before beginning a project. That is deeply spiritual. Planning is not a lack of faith. Sometimes planning is one of the ways faith becomes responsible action. Before you pay this bill, ask yourself 3 calm questions. First, is this bill accurate and due now? Second, what is the wisest way to handle it with the resources I have? Third, what action can I take today to make next month slightly stronger than this month? Those questions can be simple, but they can interrupt the cycle of fear. Maybe the wisest action is to pay in full. Maybe it is to contact the company and ask about an available payment plan. Maybe it is to postpone a non-essential purchase. Maybe it is to write down all recurring expenses and finally see where the money is going. Maybe it is to ask for professional financial guidance. Maybe it is to look for additional work, learn a new skill, sell something you no longer use, or have an honest conversation with someone in your household. Prayer should not make you passive. Prayer should help you become clear. Father, show me what is mine to do. I do not ask you to help me escape every responsibility. I ask you to help me carry responsibility with wisdom. Keep me from impulsive choices. Keep me from hiding from numbers because I am afraid of them. Keep me from buying comfort for 1 hour and creating pressure for 30 days. Keep me from comparing my life with people whose full story I do not know. Teach me to respect small amounts. Teach me to recognize waste without becoming obsessed. Teach me to receive without guilt. Teach me to give without trying to prove something. Teach me to save with patience. Teach me to spend with intention. Teach me to work with integrity. Teach me to rest without neglecting what needs to be done. And when I make a mistake, do not let shame become another expense in my life. There is a kind of financial fear that makes people avoid looking. The envelope stays closed. The account is not checked. The conversation is delayed. But avoidance rarely creates peace. Peace grows when we can look at reality and still believe that reality can be faced. If that is you today, this is your moment to change the pattern gently. Take the bill, read it once, breathe slowly, then say, God is with me in reality, not only in the life I wish I had. That sentence matters. God is with you when the numbers are comfortable, and God is with you when they are not. Faith does not require you to deny the number. Faith asks you not to worship the number. A balance can tell you how much money is available. It cannot tell you how much wisdom you can gain, how much discipline you can build, what opportunity may appear, what skill you may develop, what conversation may open a door, or how much stronger you can become through this season. Think of a representative situation. Imagine a woman sitting at her kitchen table early in the morning. She has 3 bills beside a cup of coffee. She has already done the math twice. The answer has not changed. In the past, she would have opened social media, compared herself to others, felt ashamed, and then made a hurried decision simply to escape the feeling. But this morning, she does something different. She prays. Then she writes down what is due, what she has, what can wait, and who she needs to call. She cancels one expense that no longer serves her. She sends one message about extra work. She schedules one payment. Nothing supernatural flashes across the room. The bills do not disappear. But something has changed. Fear is no longer in charge. That is the kind of change we are asking for today. Not fantasy, direction, not denial, peace, not passivity, faith with action. There is a spiritual principle here that deserves attention. What you repeatedly call yourself becomes a lens. If you keep saying, "I am irresponsible, I am always behind, I can never get ahead," you may begin to behave as if change is impossible. But if you say, "I am learning to manage what God has placed in my hands," you give yourself a truthful and responsible identity to grow into. So repeat this: I am learning to manage money with wisdom. I am becoming more attentive to where my money goes. I am willing to change habits that are hurting me. I am open to honest opportunities. I am not ashamed to start small. I am not ruled by financial fear. I can face numbers without losing my peace. God can guide my decisions. I will act with integrity. I will not confuse faith with carelessness. I will not confuse planning with fear. I will honor today's responsibilities while trusting God with tomorrow. If these words speak to what you are facing, leave a like as a quiet sign that today you are choosing faith over fear. Not because a like changes your finances, but because sometimes a small outward action helps mark an inward decision. I will not let panic control this day. Now let us pray more deeply. Father, I bring before you every bill that has become a source of anxiety: rent or mortgage, electricity, water, insurance, medical expenses, school costs, transportation, groceries, credit cards, debt payments, family needs, unexpected repairs. Whatever is creating pressure, I place it before you without pretending. I ask for provision, but I also ask for wisdom. Give me eyes to see what I can change. Give me strength to do what I have been postponing. Give me patience when growth is slow. Give me discernment so I do not mistake every offer for an opportunity. Protect me from scams, desperation, and decisions that promise quick relief but create deeper problems. Help me read before I sign. Help me ask questions before I agree. Help me sleep before making a large decision when possible. Help me seek counsel when I do not understand something. I pray for the work of my hands. Open doors that are honest and appropriate. Help me notice skills I have underestimated. Help me become reliable, teachable, and prepared. If there is something I need to learn, give me the willingness to learn it. If there is someone I need to contact, give me courage. If there is a habit I need to leave behind, strengthen my discipline. Bless the relationships in my home as well. Financial pressure can make people speak harshly. It can turn small disagreements into large fights. It can create blame, secrecy, and resentment. So I ask for peace in every conversation about money. Help us speak about facts without attacking each other. Help us listen without becoming defensive. Help us make decisions together when decisions affect the whole household. Help us stop hiding purchases, debts, or fears from those who responsibly share the burden. Help us choose unity over pride. If I live alone, give me the wisdom to build a support system and not carry every concern in isolation. If I support children, parents, or relatives, give me compassion with boundaries. Help me understand the difference between helping and enabling. Show me what I can realistically carry without destroying the stability of my own household. And Father, free me from comparison. Someone else's vacation is not my instruction. Someone else's car is not my calling. Someone else's house is not my timeline. Someone else's income does not determine my worth. Teach me to live the life you have placed before me with gratitude and intelligence. There is another declaration I want you to speak before paying any bill. Money has a purpose in my hands. Say it again. Money has a purpose in my hands. That purpose is not only to leave your account. Money can provide food. It can keep a home safe. It can support education. It can fund transportation to work. It can help you care for someone. It can create stability. It can be saved. It can be invested responsibly. It can be given generously when appropriate. It can be used to build instead of merely react. When you pay a bill, instead of saying, "There goes my money again," try a more grounded thought. I am using available resources to meet a real responsibility. That does not mean you must enjoy every bill. It means you stop feeding resentment every time money moves. If you pay for electricity, you are maintaining light, refrigeration, comfort, and function in your home. If you pay rent or a mortgage, you are meeting a housing responsibility. If you pay for transportation, you are supporting movement and access. If you pay a legitimate debt, you are honoring an obligation and moving one step closer to freedom. This perspective does not erase the pressure, but it changes the emotional atmosphere around the action. Now, if there is not enough money to pay everything today, do not use this prayer to shame yourself. Use it to become strategic. List what is essential. List what is urgent. List what has consequences if ignored. Contact providers when necessary. Ask about options. Cut what can be cut. Delay what can reasonably be delayed. Protect food, housing, utilities, transportation, and health-related necessities according to your real situation. And if your financial situation is complex, consider speaking with a qualified financial counselor or another trustworthy professional who can help you understand your options. Faith and good counsel can belong in the same life. Deuteronomy 8:18 reminds us that the ability to produce and build comes from God. That suggests something active. Provision is not only something that arrives, it can also be connected with capacity, the ability to work, learn, create, negotiate, plan, serve, and grow. So today, do not pray only, God, send money. Also pray, God, increase my wisdom. Show me where I can become more useful. Show me where I can become more disciplined. Show me what value I can create. Show me what I need to stop doing. Show me what I need to begin. That prayer can change the way you walk through the day. Father, I release the shame of yesterday's mistakes. I cannot change what I already spent. I cannot undo every past decision, but I can learn. I release the fear that says it is too late. I release the pride that says I should already know everything. I release the pressure to look successful while struggling privately. I release the habit of using money to manage emotions. I release the belief that one difficult month means I will always struggle. Today, I choose a new pattern: prayer, clarity, responsibility, and peace. Before I pay, I pause. Before I panic, I pray. Before I spend, I ask whether it serves a real purpose. Before I borrow, I count the cost. Before I agree, I read. Before I compare, I give thanks. Before I give up, I look for the next wise step. This is not a formula for instant wealth. It is a way of bringing your inner life and your financial behavior into greater agreement with faith and responsibility. And there is freedom in that agreement. You may still have a long road ahead, but a long road becomes manageable when you stop trying to walk all of it in one morning. What is the next step? Not the next 20 steps. The next one. Pay the bill you can responsibly pay. Make the call you have been avoiding. Write the budget. Cancel the unnecessary subscription. Prepare your lunch instead of spending automatically. Update your resume. Ask about available hours. Finish the application. Research a skill. Set aside a small amount. Tell the truth to the person who shares the responsibility with you. Small, faithful actions matter. And if today, the amount you can set aside is small, do not despise it. Discipline is often built in quiet amounts that nobody celebrates. A small emergency fund can begin with one small deposit. A debt can begin to shrink with one responsible payment. A habit can begin to change with one decision repeated consistently. You do not need a dramatic financial moment to begin becoming more stable. You need a direction you can continue. This is also why gratitude matters, but gratitude must be honest. Gratitude does not mean pretending that pressure feels good. Gratitude means recognizing what is still present while you work on what is missing. You may be grateful for a job while asking God for a better opportunity. You may be grateful for your home while trying to lower expenses. You may be grateful for food while learning to plan groceries more carefully. Gratitude and improvement are not enemies. Say, I can appreciate what I have without becoming passive about what needs to change. And remember that financial order is not only about spending less. Sometimes the next faithful step is increasing capacity. Maybe you need to become more organized at work. Maybe you need to apply for a position you have been afraid to pursue. Maybe you need to learn software, improve your communication, finish a certification, or ask a trusted person to review your resume. Maybe you need to take your talent more seriously and develop it into a skill that serves others. Do not underestimate preparation. A door may open, but preparation helps you walk through it. Father, prepare me for the opportunities I am praying for. If I ask for greater responsibility, make me more responsible. If I ask for greater income, teach me how to manage what I already have. If I ask for new doors, help me become ready for the work on the other side of those doors. Protect me from the belief that more money alone will solve every problem. If my habits are disordered, help me order them. If my relationships around money are unhealthy, help me address them. If I use spending to escape sadness, boredom, loneliness, or stress, help me recognize what I am really seeking and choose a healthier response. Give me the wisdom to create simple systems, a place to record what is due, a day to review expenses, a small plan for saving, a clear understanding of what is automatic and what is optional. Help me make money less mysterious by paying attention to it without becoming consumed by it. I also pray for anyone listening who feels embarrassed because they need assistance. Father, remove the false pride that keeps people from using legitimate help when they truly need it. There are seasons when receiving support is part of getting back on stable ground. Give this person discernment to know whom to trust, what programs or resources are appropriate, and how to receive help without surrendering responsibility for the future. And for the person who has enough today, guard their heart too. Let abundance not become carelessness. Let comfort not become arrogance. Teach them to save, prepare, give wisely, and remember that stewardship matters in every season, not only when money is tight. If you are able, write this sentence in the comments as your commitment for today. I will act in peace and wisdom. Let that be your reminder. Now I want to speak a final blessing over this financial season. May your mind become clearer than your fear. May you recognize needs without turning them into shame. May you see opportunities without becoming desperate. May you become patient enough to build what cannot be built overnight. May you have courage to change habits, strength to keep commitments, and humility to seek help when needed. May your home be protected from the kind of financial pressure that destroys relationships. May conversations become more honest. May priorities become clearer. May waste become easier to recognize. May discipline feel less like punishment and more like protection. May you remember that provision can come in more than one form: income, wisdom, restraint, opportunity, help, timing, knowledge, and the ability to make a better decision than you made before. Father, bless the work of this person's hands. Guide them toward honest provision. Protect them from deceit. Give them favor where favor is appropriate, patience where patience is required, and discernment in every agreement. When fear returns, remind them of these words: God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. When the bill is larger than expected, God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. When the account feels too small, God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. When a new opportunity appears, God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. When the temptation comes to spend just to feel better, God is my source. Wisdom is my guide. I will act in peace. And when progress begins, help me stay humble and disciplined. Let me not forget the lessons of this season when things become easier. Teach me to prepare in times of plenty so that I am stronger in times of pressure. I thank you for peace that does not depend on perfect numbers. I thank you for wisdom that can grow. I thank you for the ability to learn. I thank you for every honest opportunity, every good decision, every unnecessary expense avoided, every debt reduced, every amount saved, and every responsibility handled with integrity. I place my finances in your hands, but I also place my habits there. Correct me where I need correction. Strengthen me where I am weak. Open my eyes where I have been avoiding truth. And help me build a life in which faith and responsibility walk together. In Jesus' name, amen. Before you leave this moment, look once more at the bill in front of you. Do not look at it as an enemy. Look at it as one decision that can be handled one step at a time. Pray first. Think clearly. Act wisely. And then continue your morning with the prayer on your screen about God's provision and Psalm 23. Let that next prayer strengthen the same path we have begun today: faith, stewardship, provision, and peace.